I went through this phase where I was craving cockroaches and maggots.
And you're cool if it's on YouTube?
Yeah.
Anybody and their mom could see it?
Yeah.
You alright with that? Okay. Sweet. Sharee, why don't you start off by telling us how old you are?
33.
And what are your diagnoses?
Bipolar, schizophrenia, and ADHD.
At what age were you diagnosed with schizophrenia?
I don't know. Probably 7 or 8.
What do you remember about being first diagnosed with schizophrenia?
I was in the hospitalization, the general hospitalization for children.
And how did you end up hospitalized?
I was living, going in and out of group homes, and I was staying at a foster home, and my dad was doing things to me. So they sent me to the hospital, and I was pregnant, and I was diagnosed with ADHD, bipolar, and schizophrenia, and I miscarried with the baby.
Tell us more. You mentioned foster care and group homes. Tell us more about your childhood.
Okay, it started out, when I was younger, my dad had custody of me. My dad went to prison, and my mom took custody of me and my brother.
And how old were you at this time?
3.
3, okay.
And we went. My mom took me and my brother to Denver. She started shooting up heroin, and the custody took custody of us, off custody. I started going in and out of group homes, jails, prison, hospitalizations.
Tell us what it was like going in and out of group homes at such a young age.
It was fun. It's kind of like this, but instead of leaving anytime you want, they still take us on outings and camping.
And will you share with our viewers, when you said this, a lot of our viewers won't know what this is. Will you share with them where you stay at and kind of what it's like?
It's assisted living. Basically, that's it.
Cool.
At this assisted living, we could go out whenever we want. We had to be home at a certain time. But in group homes, you can't go out anywhere. It's to either go on outings or stay at the facility.
What do you remember from bouncing around from group home to group home?
I remember all my group homes. Like, my first group home was Crisis Center, and I fell in love with Puff Puff. It's a computer game, and I learned it's a nice facility. It had what are called Power Wheels, and I used to ride around in Power Wheel. I also got paper Barbies, and I actually have fun there. The ages are babies all the way up to teenagers.
And you mentioned being diagnosed 7 or 8 years old, you think, for schizophrenia?
Yeah.
What happened around 7 or 8 that you remember?
I was at Denver General Hospital when I was pregnant with my foster dad's baby.
And how old were you?
7.
You were 7 and pregnant. And you're certain with that age? It's 7 years old?
Uh-huh.
Wow, okay. And that was with your foster dads?
Yeah, this is what happened. They diagnosed me because when you get there, they take therapy issues with you. And once you do it, they'll diagnose you with stuff. But one day, I threw the trays everywhere, and they restrained me on the bed. You know what the bed is, right?
This was when you were at Denver General?
Yeah.
Okay.
They restrained me on my tummy on the bed, and I was there for like 2 days straight, going on 3 days. And they finally let me off the bed and cramped me. And I went to the bathroom, and a little lima bean with blood clot around it came out. I pulled it out of the toilet, and I looked at it. And knowing my age, I didn't know what it was, so I put it back in, and I flushed it down the toilet.
Looking back on that experience, how do you make sense of it now?
I don't know. If I was to carry that baby, if I knew what the blood clot was, if I was carrying that baby, I'll carry it. I don't really care if it's a rape baby or not.
Tell us about the medication you take on a regular basis.
Okay, I know I take Depakote. I don't know my other ones. I think it's Risperdal.
Risperdal, Depakote.
Geodon. And I have diabetes now. So I'm taking insulin in my tummy 3 times a day. I got diagnosed with diabetes back in 2019. And, yeah.
Will you go into detail for us about what sort of mental health symptoms you experience?
Okay, when I was over there at Alapubbo, I went through this phase where I was craving cockroaches and maggots.
Wait, where you were craving?
Yeah.
What do you mean by craving cockroaches?
Like, you know how pregnant people, when they don't have that much potassium in their bodies and they're pregnant and they crave weird foods?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I was going through menopause and stuff over there. Not menopause, but you know when they lower Depakote and you start going through these withdrawals? Well, I was craving cockroaches, maggots.
As in you wanted to eat them, craving?
Yes. I wanted to blend them up in a blender. Cockroaches, maggots, crickets, maggots, I said maggots, cauliflower, broccoli, spinach, orange juice, milk, and put it all in a blender and eat it.
And what do you think was going on there?
I don't know. I was just going through a rough time with all the hormones hitting me over there and people going up and down and stuff. It just hit me and I just started craving a whole bunch of stuff. And then I was in poopy and then my part down there was burning.
So you were really going through it. You were having a lot of health issues. It sounds like they were kind of flaring up.
Yeah, over there it did. 'Cause you know how many people are there? There's like 50-something people that place could hold. And like,
what happens when you're surrounded by a lot of people? How does that make you feel?
It makes my hormones mess up. It makes my emotions mess up. Like,
what does it do to your emotions?
Like 1 minute I'm hungry for things that don't exist. Next minute I'm sleepy. I'm sleeping all day.
And so now you've moved. So you were at a group home that had a lot of people. Now you've moved to a group home with fewer people.
Yeah, here.
Yeah. What's changed for you? What do you notice difference?
I'm not craving nothing no more.
No more cockroaches. No more maggots.
I'm not craving nothing no more. I'm sleeping better.
Tell us more about some of the symptoms. You mentioned these cravings, but what about the voices, hallucinations, delusions, things like that? Tell us.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Back in 2013, I believed the end of the world happening.
And say again, world happening?
Yeah, the end of the world.
Oh, the end of the world, okay.
2013, I believed the end of the world happening. Ever since then, early 2014, I started hearing voices and seeing things and hallucinating and stuff about the devil, Jesus, God, the rapture, reincarnations. All that's been happening right before my own eyes.
Okay, give us an example of a visual hallucination you've had and describe it in detail, if you will.
Okay, one time I was driving down this way and there's a cloud down low on the street and it was Jesus' face.
So you saw Jesus' face, but it was like in a cloud?
Mm-hmm. And it was down low on the what's it called, the road. On
the street level. Like you could almost touch it. It was so low.
Yeah.
So when you say you saw Jesus' face, are you saying that his face was in the cloud, like the cloud formed around his face?
Yeah. I seen that and I looked at it. I didn't do much about it, but I looked at it and then I looked away and that was it.
How big was the cloud?
About this big. And
when you looked away and then looked back, was it still there?
I didn't look back. I just looked at it and I kept on driving.
And how do you feel during that?
Good. I was at Spring Creek, right? I read the Bible like a book. Like, you know how some people go through scripture? Well, I read it appear like a book from head to end. That same night, after I fell asleep from reading it, I started having dreams of the end of the world. Of walking in God's footsteps and helping me set up for the end of the world for Him and go fetch people. I know how to explain it. But, I started having dreams of the end of the world and stuff.
Okay, when you were believing the end of the world was coming, what kind of preparation were you doing for that?
What do you mean, drugs?
Well, what does that entail? I mean, like, if you start to believe that the end of the world is coming, then what are you supposed to do? Or what were you supposed to do?
In my dreams?
Was this a dream, or this was actually, when you woke up, you still believed the world was coming to an end, or no?
Well, when I was in Spring Creek, it wouldn't come to the end then. Well, I was in Spring Creek in 2000 something, when I had that dream. And then 2 years later, I started experiencing things.
Tell me more about the things you were experiencing.
Hearing voices and seeing things.
Okay, tell us in detail, just like you did with the visual hallucination. Tell us about your voices.
My voices, people that believe in the end of the world that I do, you can actually talk to your own kids and technology and see things and see all types of stuff. Like you can see your own kid, new cars, new houses.
What would the voices tell you?
Nothing. They go, "Mommy, let me know, bitch."
They say, "Mommy, leave me alone, bitch." What do you make of that? What is that all about?
I don't know.
You don't have a hunch or anything about it? Well, why that voice and not something else?
Because my kids cuss a lot.
So that's your kid's voice. How many kids do you have?
In my imaginary world, after the end of the world, about 76.
76 kids in your imaginary world?
Yeah, after the end of the world happened to my sensors.
Do you know all their names? Which one's your favorite?
Never seen them. But if I could see them in my hallucinations, they're about this tall to this tall to this tall.
Oh, okay, so 2 to 3 feet in height.
And then I have a couple of teenagers about this tall.
What are their ages or the age range?
Like 3 to 18.
Okay.
Yeah, when do you believe in the world happening?
When do I believe it's going to end?
Yeah.
Probably like World War III. I don't know, Sharee. I have no idea.
Because if you believe in the world's going to end, you'll start seeing things. You have clothes that nobody else can have. Shoes that nobody else can have. Because where's the world at if it's not for technology, you know? The aliens made it based on technology. So, where would groceries come from? Where would clothes come from? Where would TVs and all that come from if it wasn't technology? So, in my world, I go by technology. So, I get clothes that nobody has and stuff like that.
Tell me, what does a bad day look like for you?
With my kids being mean to me.
And what do they do that's mean?
They try to glue my eyeballs together.
They try to glue your eyeballs together? When you say that, is that something you're experiencing? Tell me more about that.
Okay, I could see them, right? And I can see animals and stuff. Well, I'll be sleeping and they'll be putting glue on my eye. And when they throw fits...
As in you're dreaming this, or you're sleeping and you're feeling it?
I'm sleeping and feeling it.
How do you sleep with that? How do you sleep with that? So do you wake up at that point?
Even other people do it to me.
And
they always pick on me for some reason. I didn't know why either.
Okay, so then what? So a bad day for you is when your kids are picking on you and they're trying to glue your eyelids shut? Or your eyeballs together? I
was like this.
What do you think is underlying that? Why are they doing that? What's behind that?
I don't know. They just throw fits. I put them in the corner at times.
And then what does that do? That's kind of discipline, or?
Yeah, after they're out of the corner, I need to give them Papas. Or I have this whole black box. And they get to pick a little paper out of it, and whatever it is, they get for doing time in the corner. And then I call these stinky socks. They're like the socks with the little bands around it. And I put money and stuff in it, and I hang it up, and they get to pick from it.
And so when you implement these measures, how does it change the way they treat you?
They treat me good sometimes. When they throw fits, they just throw fits. But they're good kids.
Now, what does a good day look like for you?
I don't know. Taking them to Walmart. I just go, sometimes when I don't have money, I go to Walmart and look around.
Do you remember what we were talking about?
Going to Walmart.
Oh, that's right. And shopping and looking around. If you don't have money, then you're...
Window shopping.
Yeah.
That's what they let me do at Walmart.
So what are some things you like to buy for your kids when you have the money?
If I had kids in my own, like instead of envision kids, like imaginary kids, and I have my own kids one of these days, I'll probably, every time I go to the store, I'll probably buy them a present.
I'm sensing you really want to be a mom. Am I picking up? Is that right? Or am I way off? Really?
Yeah.
What about motherhood appeals to you so much?
Because I never had a kid before. And if I did, they ended up miscarrying.
Sure, there's so much work.
You know what I want to do?
What?
Adopt a kid.
Adopt one? What age do you think you would adopt?
From a toddler to a teenager.
Okay.
Because nowadays it's hard for teenagers to find foster group homes. Yeah, but like every time I'm going to go to the store, I'll either buy them candy or a toy or an outfit on one thing because I want to get paid not so much.
Gotcha. So, will you share with us when you are having mental health struggles? What are some things you do besides medication that help relieve whatever it is you're experiencing?
What do you mean?
When you're having a bad day, what do you do to make it better?
Sleep or listen to music.
And are you finding out when you're sleeping less that you're usually having more bad days, or?
When I sleep less, I do have more bad days.
Mm-hmm.
When I sleep more, my bad days go away.
And what does an average day look like for you, as far as kind of what you do throughout the day? Like wake up, have breakfast. Tell us about your day.
I don't know.
What are you experiencing right now? What are you thinking about?
I don't know.
What is something you wish more people knew about you?
Okay. One more thing that I wish people knew about me is that I'm the type that have her back no matter what. Like if you're angry with me for something, yeah, you can take it out on me. But if I'm not angry with you for something, I'll just leave it how it is. If you're my friend and somebody else is my friend, and you both are my friends, and you guys fight, don't put me in the middle of it because I don't like it. Because I'm not going to pick and choose who to be with. So if they're going to fight, they need to get out on themselves. Then once they keep it cool, they can be my friend again. But I'm not going to get between them. I'm a good sister, a good daughter. I don't know about Denise because I haven't heard from my aunties. I'm outgoing. I like snowboarding. Even though I never snowboarded before, but I did ski. I skied twice before. I like camping. I like South Dakota. I went camping out there and saw Mount Rushmore. Basically, I'm outgoing. I like to do like when I'm on my own and I have the money and stuff, I like to do outdoor stuff. I like to go to the mountains and have barbecue.
I just thought of a question I haven't asked anyone I've interviewed yet. Will you share with us what your dating experience has been like?
Okay, my first guy I ever slept with was black, and he was my homegirl Priscilla's boyfriend. He's the first one I ever had sex with, and then
do you mind sharing how old you were at the time?
I was about in my 20s.
In your 20s, okay.
And then I met KC. We had a baby together, but I never met my baby because I was in a coma. When I gave birth, and I went straight back to prison for parole violation.
What were you in a coma from?
ODing on Depakote.
So let me make sure I understand. So you were pregnant, you OD'd on Depakote, and then the baby was taken from you, and then you wound up in prison?
Yeah, for parole violation.
Okay.
And then he was 60-something years old, and I was in my 20s.
How did you guys meet?
I got a voucher to a hotel from Pearl, and I met him there, and we started hooking up, and he got me pregnant, and we started hanging out.
And what did you like about him? What drawed?
The way he acts when he's drunk.
How does he act?
Like when me and him fight, I'll pack up all my bags. I said, "I'm leaving, Casey. Fuck you." And he grabs me, goes, "No, baby, no!" Like from behind. And he goes, "Don't leave me." And then that's what catches me. So I go right back. And then, let's see here. And then I have, I've been dating him since April of this whole.
This month?
No, last year.
Last year?
I met him, we've been together for 5 years this April.
And you're still together? Oh, cool. Yeah. Okay, congratulations.
I've been together with him, but I don't want to be with him no more. But every time I try to call him and let him know I don't want to be with him, he goes, "Why? You want to kill myself? You hate me?" And I said, "No, I don't hate you." He goes, "Why? You can spit on my grave. You shit on my grave. Do you hate me?"
And what makes him say all of that when you try to break up with him?
Because he don't want to break up. So he cries about it. Why am I going to complain? Like, one time I was in the hospital in 2019, June something to June something, He was there from 9 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night for me.
How do you think he would feel if he saw this video and saw you say that you didn't want to be with him?
I know I don't want to be with him, but he's like the only one that I have, you know? And I told him that before, so I'm not really worried about the camera, because I told him it before. But and then I have Angelo Montour, which I got his daughter tatted on me. I met them in 2018.
Wait, now how did you and your current boyfriend Ray meet?
Boy, I love him so much, but I know he's playing games on me.
What's he doing?
Because you know how I hear voices? I can hear him making sounds like moaning sounds and all that, and saying, "Oh yes," to this other girl.
Okay.
Saying the other girl's name.
Uh-huh.
And then he controls the lights to my eyes and shows me things.
Oh
what he's doing with other girls.
And do you get all jealous or what?
Yes. And then sometimes I think he's dumb because I feel like he's not playing his cards right with me. Because if he wants to be with me, why wouldn't he do that, you know?
What else? Do you have anything else you really feel like you want to share?
I'm not going to lie. Once I get my own place, I'm going to get me a part-time job at a store. Have my SSI money. And I was thinking about becoming a stripper. Not a stripper, but what's it called? When you get money for sex?
A prostitute?
Yeah, I was thinking about
or
that.
Or escort. You're thinking about the go for the upper echelon, the escort.
Yeah, because my friend does that on Denver. So she
How much money does she make?
A lot of money.
What's a lot of money?
Like $750 a night for a couple dudes.
So your plan is if you have your own place, you would prostitute? What would you do with all the money?
If I save up my money, probably buy my grandma a beauty salon.
And what do you worry most about being a prostitute?
End up dead somewhere.
And what excites you the most about it? Maybe that wasn't the right word. Is it just the money mainly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I also want to go back to school to get my degree in architectural. I want to buy houses and flip them, buy them, and then sell them. I have a couple people that want to work for me. I always want to become an ENT, but I'm afraid of getting their IVs in while we're driving. Mm-hmm. Because I'm afraid I might poke too hard for them.